Hello everyone and welcome to the Cobra Corner. In today's episode I'm going to be reviewing episode 4 of season 4 titled Bicephaly. It will not be a spoiler free review, and I will dive in deep into the spoilers, so if you're yet to watch season 4 of Cobra Kai, or Cobra Kai in general, now would be the time to avoid this video. The episode begins with some students, including Kenny, getting a tour of the West Valley High School. During this tour, Kenny bumps into Bert and Nathaniel, who notice Kenny is sporting Cobra Kai gear. Of course, Kenny is completely oblivious to what happened at the school a few months prior, but nonetheless they both insult Kenny. Angered by the insults, Kenny tries to attack them, but Hawk enters the bathroom and stops him from doing so. He tells Kenny that he should leave Cobra Kai before it's too late. Back at Miyagi-Do, Johnny, who is holding up some focus pads, is distracted by Miguel getting trained by Daniel, and gets kicked in the face by Dimitri. Because of this, Johnny punishes Dimitri by wrapping him up in pillows and tying him to a punch bag, and encourages the Miyagi-Do students to use their techniques on him. Johnny offers Miguel dinner, but Miguel is spending time with Daniel, resulting in Johnny being jealous. At Cobra Kai, Tori reveals she has a new job. Kenny, in conversation with Robbie, discloses that he was getting picked on by some older kids at school, and he was also told to quit Cobra Kai. Kreese enters the scene, and he lines the class up and unveils Terry Silver as the new co-sensei of Cobra Kai. Johnny is seen talking to Carmen and is expressing the feelings of jealousy to Carmen that Daniel is spending time with Miguel. Carmen suggests that they should announce that they're dating to Miguel. At the garage, Miguel is successful in fixing Carmen's car. Miguel, after some persuasion from Daniel, agrees to drive him and Daniel both to a birthday party. It is then revealed that Tori is actually working at the very same children's birthday party that they'll both be going to, and that Sam and Amanda are currently at as well. At Cobra Kai, Robbie is drilling Kelly, and his lessons are a combination of Miyagi-Do and Cobra Kai, but he tells Kenny that the lessons mean nothing unless you can find balance. Silver interrupts the lesson and agrees that balance is crucial before dropping the iconic "a man can't stand, he can't fight" line. It was actually so cool to hear this line uttered again by Silver, who obviously originally said it in Karate Kid 3. Silver then challenges Robbie to a sparring session, and he gets the better of him. Silver comes across to me as a much more stable person in the scene. He is firm but fair and doesn't come across as too brutal on Robbie, as opposed to someone like Sensei Kreese. We return to Johnny's residence, where he is looking back at his past memories with Miguel. We then see Johnny examining a Coors can, and he then has a flashback to his childhood, playing with action figures. Johnny's mother walks into the room and reveals that she's getting engaged to Sid, which Johnny reacts angrily to. He goes to his room under his bed, and he keeps a box with all his dad's stuff in, and one of the things in the box is a can of Coors. Maybe this explains Johnny's religious-like following of Coors branded beer. Miguel and Daniel bond over music whilst Miguel drives. Miguel speeds up at a yellow light, and it seems Johnny's driving has had an influence on him. Daniel and Miguel both talk over their lack of father figures. Miguel tells Daniel that he's researched his father and that he thinks he's in Mexico now. Whilst Tori is at work and reading a story to children at the party, Sam mocks her at every opportunity, prompting Tori to convince the children to throw glitter at Sam. Meanwhile, Johnny is making dinner for Miguel when he gets a visit from Robbie. Johnny is actually pleasantly surprised, but Robbie is only there to ask Johnny to tell his students to leave Kenny alone. Johnny tries to warn Robbie of Cobra Kai and Kreese, but Robbie claims that whereas Johnny put all his trust in Kreese, Robbie trusts absolutely nobody, and Robbie then tells Johnny that he's better than him. Miguel and Daniel arrive at the party, and Sam continues to try and antagonize Tori. Tori ultimately quits, and while walking out, Amanda reaches out to Tori and apologizes on behalf of Sam for her. Johnny once again invites Miguel over, but Miguel tells Johnny about his dinner with the LaRusso family. We then switch to the Cobra Kai, who are watching Bloodsport at a drive-in cinema. Kyler is giving Kenny the new guy treatment and asks for an almost impossible task of carrying an extortionate amount of food across the parking lot. Whilst bringing the food back, Kenny sees the Miyagi-Fang students, but once again Hawk surprises him from behind, causing him to drop all of his food. Robbie confronts the Miyagi-Fang students, and a brawl is about to ensue. The three dojos agree to a fight on the baseball field, but instead of actually fighting, Eagle Fang and Miyagi-Do instead set off the water sprinklers on the field and actually soak Cobra Kai. The following morning at the Cobra Kai dojo, the students are enraged. Kreese suggests striking back. However, surprisingly enough, Terry Silver tells Kreese that he agreed to come back to bring Cobra Kai back to glory and to help kids succeed, and they need to learn from their past mistakes. Silver says now that they're the old men, that they should use the wisdom they've gained. Silver also states that Cobra Kai was never about revenge, and that if they're just going to rehash the past, history will only repeat itself. Johnny learns of what happened at the baseball field. He seems angered by it, and I think that's because it brings back memories of when LaRusso doused him with a water hose at the Halloween party. It also goes against his teachings of picking fights and running from them. At least that's how he sees it. Daniel sees it as using good restraint, to the annoyance of Johnny, who feels he's losing his student, Miguel. Just as Daniel and Johnny are about to argue, Silver and Kreese walk into Miyagi-Do and the episode ends. This episode was a big surprise to me. I love how Silver has actually changed his mindset surrounding everything. For many of our characters from the original films, we have seen changes in growth, but from Silver to go from an unstable lunatic hell-bent on vengeance to where he is today, it's incredible. He is being very mindful of ensuring Cobra Kai don't make the same mistakes they did in the 1980s, something which Kreese hasn't accepted as much. Daniel and Miguel's relationship continues to progress, much to the dismay of Johnny as he watches his student sway further to the Miyagi-Do teachings. It can't be too long before Johnny addresses it with Daniel though. Moving on to Tori, and I can't help but feel sorry for her. She doesn't seem at all interested in pursuing the rivalry with Sam, or perhaps she just has bigger things to worry about now. And that's all we really have time for today on the Cobra Corner. Please make sure that you let me know what you thought of the episode in the comments below, and I'll see you on the next one.